to go. The Panthers' final of 3 meetings with the Columbus Blue Jackets. They played a shootout here last month. The Panthers tied a franchise record with 55 shots on goal in that game. Let's take a look at our goaltenders, brought to us by BB&T.
Well, for the visiting Columbus Blue Jacket, it's not going to be Bobrovsky, who has been so good against the Panthers in the first 2 games of the season, making 76 saves in those 2 games.
Tough to beat. Ekblad rolls it around the boards. The hot Barkov line is on. Barkov, Huberdeau, and Boys have played well. Campbell trying to hold it in, deflects out to center. Ekblad pops it ahead for his fellow teenager Barkov. Huberdeau to Barkov, looking, takes a shot, shoulder save. Huberdeau again, good first shift for Florida. Try to shovel it in front, blocked by Fedor Tyutin. Dubinsky trying to clear along with Hartnell. Ekblad wouldn't let him out. Finally, it gets out to center. Barkov gets tripped up. Play rolls on, though, as the Panthers grab the line change. Campbell paired up with Ekblad. We've got some defensive changes back on the blue line for Florida, with Petrovic called up, making his season debut. Long shift here for Campbell and Ekblad. Dave Bolin out to center. Lead pass, Bergenheim. Getting it over the line, makes a move, gets in front. Bergenheim shoots, save, rebound. Bolin couldn't get a stick on it. Oh, strong to the cage for Bergenheim. Columbus goes the other way. Spirited start for the Panthers offensively there. Now down low, top line on for the Blue Jackets. Atkinson's shot deflected by Mitchell, who is paired up with Erik Gudbranson on defense.
You know what? That is a pairing that looked terrific in Calgary when the last time those two played together. Gudbranson just looked so much more comfortable and actually had a big game. He was a +3 in that game, getting a shot on goal as well as an assist. So we'll see if he can duplicate that kind of effort tonight.
They played 25 minutes in that game. Remember, Kulikov was a late scratch due to illness, so Kulikov tonight with 22-year-old Alex Petrovic called up. Bjugstad tries to pop it out of his own, but the veteran Wisniewski held it in. Here's Mitchell with Gudbranson around the boards, and Hayes got it out.
You know, you talk about Kulikov, he'll be playing on the left side tonight, which is a place that he hasn't played very much throughout this season. Of course, playing on the right side with Mitchell most of the year.
How much of a difference is that for a defense?
Sometimes it can be a very positive difference, because all of a sudden, you know, it's like moving your chair in the classroom. You get a different view, everything is a little fresh, and sometimes it can add a little bit of freshness to your game. And Kulikov, I think, should be getting more shots on goal, and maybe he'll feel more comfortable being a left-hand shot, getting those shots towards the net.
Kulikov lead pass for Kopetsky. Kopetsky down low. Comes back. Here's Alex Petrovic, but it trickles past him. Calvert looking to go the other way. Kulikov closes on him and blocks the shot.
Back.
We continue to see these Panther draft picks of the last 4 or 5 years infiltrate the lineup, with Kulikov, first rounder, and Petrovic was the 36th overall pick in that 2010 draft. In fact, Panthers, 3 of the top 36 picks, and they're all in their lineups, along with Petrovic, Bjugstad, and Gudbranson. This an icing call on Florida.
Well, Roberto Luongo has had some great success against Columbus in his career. 4 shutouts. That's tied for the most shutouts against the Columbus franchise, actually. Curtis McElhinney's been around the league a little bit. Talking about Bobrovsky having an injury. McElhinney's now going to be taking over. Does not face the Panthers yet this season, or ever.
Dubinsky hard backhander stopped by Luongo. Good save there by Roberto. Now it's Trout. Played it up to the point. Trout centering feed. Nice step up there by Petrovic, but it's held in. Sean Thornton back in the Florida lineup on the ice here. Here's a blast. Luongo with another big save. And Boys gets it ahead to Huberdeau. Nice little drop for Boys. Barkov now. Boys goes to the net. Barkov puts it out towards the front of the net. Blocked away by Trout. Brad Boys controls. Centering feed up high. That's picked off. And Johansson with speed. Moving. Got a piece of it. Luongo made the stop. Luongo scrambles back up. And Brian Campbell takes away and gives to Alexander Barkov. Lead feed to center. Huberdeau in a battle Columbus gets the help as Johnson controls.
Well, Brian Campbell had a pretty tough assignment there. He against Ryan Johansson. Campbell barely goes 180. Johansson will go 225 and cutting towards the net. Campbell did a good job of limiting Ryan Johnson's opportunities to just one weak shot.
Bolin gets the red line and gets it deep. But actually doesn't. It goes into the stands. I spoke a moment too soon. All right, so here's that lineup change. Dylan Olsen has been placed on waivers by the Panthers. What does it mean? Well, he has until noon tomorrow for a team to claim him. And if he does clear waivers, he would wind up going down to San Antonio to play in the AHL. Alex Petrovic, solid season. This year in the A, he's played about 150 games down there, is up with the Panthers.
I played about 14 games last year, but, you know, talking about how he came to camp, he was really ready. He ended up in first place, meaning first overall, for the Florida Panthers in one of the toughest tests that they're put through, which is about a 45 seconds flat out. How do you do? His numbers were the best on the team.
This puck deflects and just trickles wide.
Well, conditioning was a commitment for the young Petrovic, who we all thought had a very good training camp. Well, we'll see how things develop now. The Florida Panthers really do need a little boost in the back line.
Petrovic's got a little mean in him, too. That never hurts. Here's Prout walking the line, looking for an opening. Luongo, strong kick save. Roberto off to a strong start in the first 5.5 minutes. Panthers are on the road starting Saturday, 3 and 4 nights. Saturday in New Jersey. Mitchell got a piece of the puck, but Bukestad just couldn't corral it as it trickled away. Here comes Hartnell. Plays it around the boards. Brandon Peary with Prout as the defenseman pinches in. And the Blue Jackets control. Tropp puts it out in front. Kick save. Luongo. Rebound sent wide by Tropp. Roberto a big stop on Hartnell. Blue Jackets putting the pressure on now, but Mitchell with a steal. Hayes. And now it's Peary with goals in back-to-back games shooting in. Puck rolling at the Panther line. Calvert controls. Oh, nice little back check by Peary. Calvert again. They give to Letestu. Blue Jackets have had shot advantage here after the first couple of shifts. Good ones by the Panthers. Thornton out at center. Puck rolled on him. Bowl at the Panther line. Knocked away by Campbell. McKenzie, the former Columbus Blue Jacket, takes over. Gets by one man. McElhaney. Calvert. Checked by Kopetsky, who forces the turnover. And now Aaron Ekblad, lead pass Thornton. Panthers get the line change. Here comes the dangerous Johansson, gliding in, makes a move, gets in front, tipped away. Atkinson picks it up and shoots high. Johansson, blind pass in the middle, stolen away by Barkov. Continuous action here, long time between whistles. Foligno down the wing, Willie Mitchell played it beautifully. I mean, you can't write it up any better than that, can you? You
can be captain at the All-Star game, but you're not going to be dominant here, says Willie Mitchell to Foligno. Having an outstanding year, 18 goals. That's a career high for Foligno, the former Ottawa Senator.
Signed that big contract. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Good hit there by Goodbranson. Huberdeau trying to find the puck. Three in the corner. Mitchell for Huberdeau. Unable to control. Back around the other way.
Well, I tell you what, Goodbranson's been pretty active in the few shifts he's had so far. I think he's got about 4 hits, averaging 2 a shift.
Dave Bolin in a battle. Puck deflected. Bergenheim, who had that chance for the Panthers, gives to Ekblad. Now it's UC Jokinen. Tucks it for Ekblad. The wrist shot. McElhaney the save. He jumps out and covers up. That rebound was there for just a split second. Roberto Luongo sharp early on as the Panthers and Blue Jackets remain scoreless. Remain remains scoreless in Sunrise. Let's go to the Panther bench. Here's Billy.
Well, you had a big hit there against Nick Foligno, Ryan Johansson, another talented forward. How do you contain those two?
Real good in the neutral zone because they all got good speed on that line, so you want to slow them down through there so they aren't generating a lot of speed at the blue. And then in zone, obviously protecting the middle of the ice. That's where all the goals are scored.
You have a new D pairing tonight with Gudbranson. What's the key when you have a new defenseman on your side?
You know what? We played a little bit on the penalty kill together, so I think we enjoy playing with each other. We're both big, got some range. So I think the big thing always with a new partner is some talk.
Thanks, Wally.
Yeah, no problem.
Back to you guys.
You know, the new partner is important right now because we have been talking in the 5-game losing streak for the Florida Panthers. Something had to change, and they're getting offense, i.e. the 3 power play goals. Something was not really working. Maybe it got a little stale. We had talked about how healthy the 3 pairs have been all season long. Things are not going so well in the past several weeks. So you knew that management and coaches were going to make a little change. Change of partners can be refreshing.
Hartnell after it in the Panther zone. Campbell takes away. Hartnell got a stick on it. Campbell battling Trop, and Campbell won the battle. Bergenheim for Bolin. Veteran line here. Bolin center and UC Jokinen and Sean Bergenheim. Campbell at the point with a shot. Shoulder save by McElhaney.
Well, I can tell you, early in the game, Bolin has been on top of the crease.
Blue Jackets break in 2-on-1 here. Nice play, Brian Campbell, but it's picked up by Johnson. Bolin checks him, and they did not get a shot on goal.
The Panthers did get fortunate there because Jack Johnson was all alone. Had that puck not bobbled, he would have had a great scoring opportunity. But I say that because throughout this period, the Panthers have been coming back very, very strong, eliminating any of the open men as the puck is going into their own zone.
Here he throws the body there. Loose outs in the face-off circle. Bukestad after it. Beats Wisniewski to the puck. But the feed is stolen away. He was looking for Hayes. Foligno breaks the other way. Here's Johansson, so dangerous, along with Foligno.
You can see his strength there against Gudbranson.
Wisniewski wrister blocked down in front. Bukestad on the clear.
Your defense, you get all kinds of defensemen. Small, big, fast, slower than others. But when you're playing against a Ryan Johansson, this is a good combination for Florida. Strong, because you're going to have to be strong. He and Foligno are very strong.
Oh, a steal here by the speedy Letestu. And his shot, Luongo makes the save. Petrovic hustled back. And Letestu had himself a pretty good look.
Welcome back to the BB&T Center. No score about the midpoint of the first period. I'm Drew Goldfarb here with Sean Thornton returning to the lineup. The Panthers scratching Scotty Upshaw as we take a look at our Baptist Health scratches for tonight's contest. Scotty Upshaw, a healthy scratch, as is Thomas Fleischman, continuing to sit up in the press box for this game tonight. Denny, the Panthers rotating their veterans.
They've had the good fortune of being able to do that because there have been few injuries. But it's about time you got to get Thornton back in here. He will add attitude in the dressing room and on the ice as well.
We'll hear from Sean Thornton coming up at the first intermission after the horn sound. Chat with Billy. I made the mistake of kind of wisecracking and saying, hey, the vacation's over. And he remembered it, and I got a little, more than a love tap on the arm. For me, it was, Thornton pummeled me. I'm not going to make any more comments.
Well, that was not a great comment.
No, not smart by me, no. Very ill-advised, just dumb.
Guy struggles through 22 games there.
Yeah, not smart.
The extra work, sitting in the press box.
Yeah.
None of it is fun.
You probably would elbow me in the face then. All I got was a hard punch in the arm like an hour. What a great, off the ice.
Yeah.
And what a great guy to have inside that dressing room. What does a guy like him do in a dressing room, Denny?
You know what? I tell you what. He would sit down next to a young guy and just say 1 or 2 words. Stand up in his stall, look back at his stall, and say something out loud that everybody can hear. He's not the kind of guy that's going to get in the face of an opponent, but he will get his words out, and they will be heard. I had a great conversation with him just about his role in terms of fighting, and somebody should write a book. It was fascinating, the kinds of things that these guys do to make their role important on the team. And he understands there's a big change between that role and what it was 10 years ago.
Ooh.
Wow, what
a slash there. Hartnell, who hit Ekblad out at center ice before.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Hartnell's trying to intimidate the 18-year-old or what, but I mean, that's got to be a slashing penalty. I think he broke his stick in half. Let's go back, Denny, to the hit at center.
Well, I tell you what, Goldie, you're right on. Is this on the numbers? Take a look. It's right here. Is it right on the numbers?
Columbus, 2 minutes
Not really, so they didn't call that, and he didn't go into the boards real hard, so they let it go. But I don't know what happened with Hartnell coming back at him again with that slash. But for Hartnell breaking the hockey stick, it made it an automatic penalty.
Well, let's see if this new look Panther power play, which went 3 for 5 the other night against Detroit. Ekblad, the only defenseman out there with a bunch of young forwards as well. They had 15 shots on the 5 power plays. So it's Bjugstad, Hayes, Huberdeau, Barkov with Ekblad. And they take advantage. And a quick face-off win for Bjugstad. Here's Barkov. Sets up Bjugstad. Point-blank save, McElhaney. Here's another chance. Huberdeau sets up Hayes, who deflected it in front and then saved by McElhaney again. Couple of good looks. Huberdeau again. And Ekblad, Bjugstad, one-timer save. Rebound in front. Oh, they try to tuck it over to Hayes. He would have had an open net if it could have gotten to him.
What a terrific heads-up play by Barkov, looking for the back pass to Hayes, and as you said, he would have had the open net had he been able to get it quickly from his skate to his stick.
Now that second unit is on. They clicked against Detroit with Keary getting a goal. Dubinsky down low, checked. Boys try to play it there, but Calvert is away. Well, they didn't score, but boy, oh boy, that power play looked pretty crisp.
Well, I mean, within the 1 minute, there's 3 threats. 3 threats. The Panthers were not getting that in 3 power plays earlier. So obviously the change has really sort of ignited a bit of a fire, not only over the overall on the power play, but for each individual.
Ekblad hops back on here. A little mix and match as Bolin and Jokinen and Boys are still on. Along with Campbell. David Bolin. Back up high for Ekblad. Over to Campbell. Has a wide open lane and he shoots, and McElhaney with a glove save.
You know, you saw the finesse of the first unit. This unit right here, just by the makeup of it and the way they practice, should be the unit that is more the down and dirty unit. You see the shot by Campbell. Nobody's there in front of the net. Maybe it was Campbell should have moved it the other way. I'm not sure what should have happened, but this second unit should be much more of a down and dirty, get right in front of the goaltender on the paint, and shots coming from everywhere. You've got a more skilled power play in the first 1 minute. I think it's a nice combo, but you just have to execute.
Kulikov now on with Ekblad, along with Bjugstad, Hayes, and Bergenheim. And Bjugstad wins the draw again. Bjugstad gets hit from behind by Johnson. Picked up by Jimmy Hayes. Swings it back for Bjugstad. Ekblad knocks it down and shoots, deflected wide by Bergenheim in front. Hayes gets hit, bounces off the chest. Bjugstad with a chance. That shot is blocked. Power play winds down. It's Bjugstad again. Hayes, Bergenheim, swing and a miss. Hartnell is back, and he trips Ekblad as he gets out of the box. But the Panthers are on it again. Bergenheim cuts to the middle. And he and Hartnell nearly got into a huge collision.
Yeah, not a lot of guys will come across like Hartnell. You do have to keep your head up as you're going east-west inside the blue line. He's a forward coming back and will take the hit.
McElhaney stopped all 4 shots the Panthers had on that power play. He's been playing good hockey of late. McElhaney. Mitchell. Goodbranson. Cross ice for Sean Thornton. He'll let one fly. Knocked down by the glove of McElhaney. Couldn't control Thornton with a big hit. Puck chips into the slot. Goodbranson with a shot. Another glove save by McElhaney. Panthers putting some pressure on. Here in the first, the Cats and the Jackets remain scoreless. going to assume that's real, so that guy needs a razor. Maybe it's not real. I don't know. What is real right now, Denny, is this Panther power play is perked up with the new looks.
Well, I tell you, you're seeing Panthers everywhere, just like those guys' glasses. One good opportunity on the power play. Same power play. 2 good opportunities. 3 good opportunities, and that's the one we talked about. He's so very close to getting the puck and seeing an open net on that same power play unit. 4 shots on goal did the power play get. So Aaron Ekblad, there you see this season on the power play, and that's why the coach Gallant has picked him for the high spot, because of all the players on the back line, he has shown that he can get the puck through more consistently, which obviously is the big deal. Don't get it blocked.
27 points on the season for the 18-year-old Ekblad, the #1 overall pick in the draft, averaging about 22 minutes. What he is doing as an 18-year-old defenseman in this league is flat out remarkable. Off the draw, we'll do it again. McKenzie and Wenberg. Eric McKenzie in the circle. There's a look at Aaron Ekblad right there for Rookie of the Year. And you get my vote because I think what he's doing as a defenseman at age 18 is more impressive than what some of the forwards are doing, not taking anything away from them.
Well, Nashville's still going well, but I understand Forsberg has slowed down a little bit.
Kopecky, oh, that one just trickled wide. Kopecky came right in front with a strong move.
This line is looking real good. Obviously, Thornton being back on that line, that gives, again, a little freshness, something different.
Here's Petrovic making his season debut, wearing number 72 for the Panthers. 14th NHL game.
Yeah, Goldie, sorry, just want to say that line right now has been spelling containment for the Florida Panthers, containing the puck in the offensive zone.
Anderson down the wing, big body, a 20-year-old, number 53 for the Blue Jackets.
Big team all around the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. Here's Hartnell. Fires up high, and it's past Tootin. Allows the Panthers to grab a line change as the Barkov group comes on. Barkov has been hot. 3-point game the other night against Detroit, tied a career high. Dubinsky threw it to the Panther line. Mitchell turns it back to center. And Boyes and Barkov lets one go. McElhaney the save. Dubinsky kicks the rebound to his tape. Hartnell didn't get enough of it. But Prout will reset for the Blue Jackets. The Panthers have had the last 8 shots on goal. It was 9-4 at one point in favor of the Blue Jackets. So we got some opportunities, Danny, on the power play, and they seem to have maybe seized the momentum a little bit.
Yes, but I don't want it to look like last game when the goaltender and the opposing team plays lights out in the third period, like Mrazek did to really keep the Florida Panthers from tying that game. With a power play near the end of the game, Mrazek got his best period.
Oh, Johansson stopped by Luongo. Where's the whistle? Finally, we get it, and Goodbranson getting into it. And Foligno along with Willie Mitchell. And Willie Mitchell's red hot. Foligno took a couple of pops at him. Roberto's having his say.
If you're not Billy Smith, you know, don't get into it. It's a different game. This is the puck has turned over. A little bit of a soft pass trying to get up the ice by Jokinen. And there you see the backhand save. But Foligno's right on top. Atkins is right on top. A very important part. I wanted to talk about him a little bit. Atkinson, a very important part of that top line. Both Foligno and Johansson with 18 goals apiece. Guy Atkinson gets in there and creates opportunities.
Yeah, it's a tough top line. Remember Ryan Johansson had the contract issue with the team in training camp. No one remembers that anymore. What a player he is from that 2010 draft.
Well, I remember talking about him a lot early during training camp, early in the season. Would he have a tough start? A lot of players, Drew Doughty included, this training camp because of contract situations. They have a tough time getting rolling. Well, I think Johansson got points in the first 12 games of the season. It didn't bother him at all.
No, if you're a star, aren't you? I mean, and everyone's taking care of themselves. I mean, a young guy like that, presumably in the offseason, was in good shape.
But it's the sharpness, you know, the everyday thing. The 200-300 shots, passes every day. The sharpness that just sometimes makes you fall behind early in the season if you haven't participated in those 2 or 3 weeks of camp.
So if Al Arbor said, Denny, your option, show up opening night or come to camp?
I'd go to camp.
You would go to camp?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I want to make sure that opening night I'm feeling real good about the whole game that you're bringing. Timing, passing, all of that stuff.
That's a slash on Johansson because Bjugstad beat him through the neutral zone.
Columbus, number 19, minor penalty, slashing.
Well, there's about 2 or 3 there. That could be, you see the turn of the blade. You know, the book says you're kind of allowed stick on stick. So the Florida Panthers, in my view, get a bit of a break here. But Johansson gives you the idea that as a player, if you take 2 or 3 strides, he would have been equal or beyond Bjugstad and would not have needed to use the stick to check Bjugstad. So the Panthers right back on the power play.
All right, the 5 on here, the 4 forwards. They win the draw again. Huberdeau. Ekblad, the only D-man, over to Nick Bjugstad. Hayes is out in front. Here's Huberdeau, but he bobbled it for a moment, regains control. Try to flip it, Ekblad, stolen away by Dubinsky. Calvert's going to the net. Dubinsky shoots Luongo with a big stop there off the short-handed chance.
And guys, the Panthers have given up the first goal in 8 of the last 10 games. The Panthers' records when they score first, 12, 1, and 4. A couple of power play chances in this first period. You would love to see the Panthers play with the lead. They haven't been doing enough of that of late.
Well, an opportunity here. The first power play looked good, and certainly playing with the lead, especially when Luongo's on his game like he is tonight, would be huge for this team.
Well, certainly making the shorthanded save, which didn't happen in the last game. And Billy is right spot on, as they say. Panthers have not had the first goal of the game in the last 5, and of course that's 5 losses.
Down low, the battle is on. And the Blue Jackets had 3 players down low, were able to dig it free. Campbell, Peary, Jokinen, Bolin, and Boyes. Jokinen at the line. Flips it in. Boyes after it with Jokinen. Rolls up the boards. Brian Campbell is there. Over to Peary. Back for Campbell. Here's Peary quickly to Boyes. They moved it well there. Down low. Bolin in front. Peary saved. Rebound is loose, and the Panthers couldn't get a stick on it for a chance after McElhaney made the initial stop. Another close call. Campbell quickly through center. Campbell is in. Campbell deflected away and rolls in front. And now Barkov has it stolen away by Johnson. Huberdeau and the Panthers looking to go one more time on the man advantage. Bjugstad trying to flip it over the line, but he didn't get enough of it. Ekblad flipped it up the wing. That didn't work.
Well, it's not going to work. I mean, soft passes don't work. We saw a turnover in the defensive zone. Jokinen trying to make a soft pass. Ekblad making the same mistake in the neutral.
In front, Hayes couldn't get the shot off. Good pass by Bjugstad. Power play is over. Here's Johansson out of the box. Nice little poke check there by Huberdeau. Final seconds of the opening period. McKenzie couldn't get around a man. And Johansson is in again. He lets one go. Luongo with another save in this opening period. He's made 13 of them.
Now the Florida Panthers keep the puck in the offensive zone and peppering the goaltender McElhaney, but still nothing for it. This is the last 20 seconds of the period. 5-on-5. Johansson just trying to get a shot on net. Had a player going for the rebound, may have been looking for that rebound as line mate Trop was right on top of the crease. But Ribeiro had the puck melt in his equipment.
McKenzie won the faceoff. And that'll do it for the opening period. Panthers were super, by the way, in the circle. Should be noted 75%. And Luongo, outstanding in that opening period to have it scoreless. McElhaney was good, too.
Different than the other game. The fact that the Florida Panthers have played almost every conceivable situation with confidence. The fact that you're not on the scoreboard, don't even go there. start over the same way in the second period. It may come quicker than you can imagine.
Coming up right now, quickly, we go to the desk. Here's Drew.
Goldie, thank you very much. Plenty coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report. We're going to take a look at the latest edition of Inside the Panthers, focusing on star young defenseman Aaron Ekblad. Plus, we'll take a look at the importance of scoring first for the Panthers. It is a scoreless game after all. And after that, we're also going to take a look at all the highlights and analysis from the first period of play. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Drew. You've got a friend right behind you there at the desk. After one period of play here at the BB&T Center, we are scoreless. We get set for the start of the second period here at the BB&T Center. Panthers and Blue Jackets scoreless after one.
You know, after the loss to Detroit, Willie Mitchell nailed it when he said, our problem is our defense. We are not playing as well as we should, and I think he got that message across to all to all other 5 defensemen on the ice in this first period, playing against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that is known to be a strong hitting club. The Florida Panthers have out-hit them 18-10, and 14 of those hits have come from the defense core collectively. So I think the message got across from the captain to the defense core, and now it's time to turn it up ice and see if the Florida Panthers can beat McElhinney, who is facing these Panthers for the first time in his career.
Well, he's won his last 4 starts with a .925 save percentage.
And you know, they haven't been all just recently either. That goes back to the beginning of December, so it's not like he plays a lot. You know, former, Vezina Trophy winner Bobrovsky is injured. He gets most of the starts if he is healthy.
Campbell settles down the bouncing puck. Fires to center. Cut off there by the veteran Teuton, who shoots back in. Ekblad, Barkov got it to the point. Johnson knocked down by Huberdeau. And then the Panthers were able to resettle it down.
Second period obviously has not been a great period for the Florida Panthers, but to a player, they have recognized what happened the other night against Detroit. They allowed Detroit to take the game over in the second period. They have vowed not to let that happen. So here we are, early parts of the second period.
Johansson gives to Foligno. But Branson is with him. Foligno hands to Johnson. They move it quickly. Atkinson. Here's Johnson again, and he scores. And the Blue Jackets break out on top.
You know what, Atkinson, I talked about him near the end of the first period. He is not the biggest offensive producer, but he does have 9 goals and 8 assists. But watch the nice little plays he makes right here. Picks up the pass and lays a perfect pass in the wheelhouse of Jack Johnson. Nice little turnaround and the cycling down low. And it ends up on the stick of Jack Johnson, who can really step into it. No chance there for Roberto Luongo. This was done by some heady play. And again, it was Atkinson, who I find is a very important winger on that top line, along with Johansson and Foligno.
5th of the year from Johnson, from Atkinson and Foligno. Foligno has been having that big year now. 12 points his last 11 games, and the Blue Jackets get the first goal early in the second. Connaughton chased back by Peary. Here's Connaughton again. Tipped away by Peary at center. Scooped up by Wisniewski moving in. Anisimov in the slot. Bumped by Peary. Puck is loose. Comes to the line and out to center. First shot of the second period for either team. Winds up going in after each goaltender made 13 saves in the first. Peary back again defensively. Gives to Hayes. He's met at center as it rolls deep in the zone, and the Panthers get a line change. Campbell for Ekblad. Stolen away by Letestu. Centering feed. Couldn't find Calvert. Huberdeau fights off the Calvert check and shoots in. Blue Jackets get an easy out there. Calvert, nice little poke there by Ekblad. Ekblad got high stick. They let it go. The official is looking at it, too. Amazing. Here comes Huberdeau moving in. Huberdeau with a shot. McElhaney to save. It's loose now, side of the net. Boys. In front, Huberdeau. Backhander. And he scores. Right back, Denny, to get it tied.
Well, you can check the time. A little over a minute later. This is all on Huberdeau. He really has to fight for this. The most impressive part I find is getting that rebound back to the front of the net. Then he gets himself back in front of the net, which is exactly what we had talked about in terms of what the Panthers need to do. So he gets the first shot, struggles to get the second puck to the front of the net, and then once he gets his body there, he gets a pass from Boys and ties it up. That's a big goal for the Florida Panthers, and again, not waiting too long to tie this one up.
Huberdeau gets his 9th of the year. Foligno in the offensive zone working along the wall here. Atkinson. And here's Johansson. Putting it out in front, tipped away by Mitchell. Johnson is on it. Blue Jackets respond with a shift in the Panther zone. Put out in front. Oh, Luongo robs Foligno on the redirection. A big one there by Roberto.
Jonathan Huberdeau is working much more diligently in the offensive zone. Dalton Prout, number 47, falls asleep. Doesn't get back, and you're going to pay a price. And McElhaney's way down deep in his net. And then down at the other end, Roberto Luongo comes up with his best save of the night. They needed one. Again, the Panthers show that ability to bounce right back after giving up that early goal.
And they win the faceoff here and quickly get out to center ice. Kopetsky hits Ekblad, moving in. Ekblad splits the D to the backhand. Oh, McElhaney with a save. That would have been on every single highlight reel, coast to coast, if he finished it off.
Well, you see Ekblad's got the stuffing in the left nostril from the earlier hit, but this is just fortunate for McElhaney because one more stride, another foot, and he would have gotten around, Ekblad that is, would have gotten around that right leg of McElhaney. He had the room. Boy, what an excellent play as the Florida Panthers come right back. This is a little more wide open hockey than the Panthers would love to see, but you'll take it if it means giving yourself more chances.
We do not see plays like that often from defensemen in the NHL. Barkov and Boys, by the way, got the assists on the Huberdeau goal. For Huberdeau, he ties his total goal output of last season. He scored 9 goals in 69 games. Here he gets his 9th. In just over half the season, Barkov now with 10 points in his last 10. They have really picked up the scoring.
And with Barkov, we talked about him in the open.
Ooh, Wenberg ripped one that went up and out of play.
The thing about Barkov, oftentimes you say, well, the guy's got 10 points in the last so many games, but he's got 4 in one game. The thing about Barkov that we're starting to see is that he's contributing every night with points.
Assistant coach Mike Kelly, a little instruction there for the young 19-year-old Barkov. Here's a look at his numbers. So you see after the slow start offensively, he's really picked it up. Huberdeau, by the way, over his last 14 games, about a point a game now as well. Brandon Dubinsky behind the Panther net. Check by Bukestad. Hartnell cleans it up. But Bukestad and Campbell are working, able to take it away. And Campbell lifts it all the way down, and this will go for icing. The Panthers and the Clevelanders, South Beach, have come together to bring you the ultimate fan experience. Ticket packages available as low as $31. Get transportation between the Clevelander and the BB&T Center. You can call 954-835-8890 or go online. Great way to go. Come on up to Sunrise from South Beach. Erie won the faceoff. Again, it cannot be understated. The Panthers over 70% in this game in the circle. Done a good job. Hayes hustles after it. Hit by Johnson, though. Ryan Johansson. clears the center. And now it comes all the way down. Good Branson with Foligno in the corner. Atkinson and Mitchell there as well. Foligno able to roll it around the boards. Johnson at the point with a wrist shot. Luongo saw it all the way and has it in the glove.
And you know, Goldie, just sort of an add-on to what you're talking about and the shots on goal in the Florida Panthers with the way they've worked. 5 of those shots have come on power plays, and that is a big improvement. They're getting their scoring chances on the power plays. 5 shots in the first period, and there's no doubt that they'll be rewarded if that continues.
Barkov line back on here. And
the face-offs you were talking about also contribute to getting those power play shots.
Blue Jackets quickly able to get it out. Calvert chips in. Petrovic back with him. Alex Petrovic called up. Dylan Olsen on waivers. Bold through the body in there.
You don't see that too often, you know, coming around the net like that. There are not too many wingers that'll come across and try and hit you as you come out the other side of the net. I'm not sure that Kulikov saw Bowl coming. Clean hit, but boy, I tell you what, it's one of those things where you want to be looking up from now on, and when you get on the ice, oftentimes guys don't look to see who's on the ice for the opponents. You see a guy like Bowl there, a strong hitter, guys like Chris Neal in Ottawa, wingers that'll do that kind of thing as a defenseman. You almost want to make sure that you're aware when they're on the ice.
Battle at the blue line. McKenzie able to get it to center. Sean Thornton, Panthers happy to have him back in the lineup. Able to get it deep. Kopecky feeds the point. Ryan Campbell for Kopecky. Off his blade, though. Wenberg. Kopecky wouldn't let him out. Good effort there. And Thornton again gets it deep in the zone. Ekblad blocked the clearing attempt twice. Finally, Anisimov able to clear. McKenzie back covering defensively. They've exchanged goals here in the second. Jack Johnson for the Blue Jackets. And a minute 41 later, Huberdeau for Florida. Kopecky under pressure, but able to get away from Hartnell. Well, the Blue Jackets control at center, and Dubinsky picks his way over the blue line. Dubinsky, nice little poke there by Kopecky. Panthers will complete a change here. Tootin just goes off the glass to center. Races on into the Panther zone. Good Branson hit by Dubinsky. Dubinsky went down. Blue Jackets work it to the point. The Tootin shot saved by Luongo. Jonathan Huberdeau comes up big in front on the backhand. His 9th of the year ties the game. 1-1 game here in the second period. Let's go down to the bench. Here's Billy.
Derek, you give up the early goal in the second period. How important was that Huberdeau goal to get you back in it?
Yeah, I think more importantly it was the way we got it. We've been talking about turnovers. I had one in the first. We got to count, we can't have that. So I thought they got the puck deep, and the result was what we wanted.
You're very familiar with this Columbus team. How do you exploit them?
Well, it's tough. They got a lot of great players. You go down the list, starting with Foligno and Johansson and Calvert, and the list goes on. But they do things the right way.
All right, that was Billy Lindsay with Derek McKenzie, the former Columbus Blue Jacket.
If you ever wondered, gee, 35 seconds on the ice is not a big deal.
Yeah.
You hear those guys breathing when they get off that ice?
What a great point. Great point, Denny. Panthers move 3-on-2. It's Huberdeau. And he gets it deep and gives chase. Boys and Barkov with him. Down low, Brad Boys. Knocked away. Huberdeau now gets to work absorbing some hits. Huberdeau working hard against Tootin. Johansson now in there. So is Barkov. Look at that puck along the wall. Huberdeau to Boys, and he misses high. What an effort by Huberdeau along the walls. And now it's Barkov's turn. Takes the hit from Prout. Barkov double team. Stays with it, though. Prout. Back check by Boys. Johansson, though, able to clear. Goodbranson there to dump in. What a shift by Barkov, Boys, and Huberdeau.
And a quick line change, so you don't lose your positioning.
Atkinson gets in onside. Talk about how shifty he is, Denny. You saw it there.
Well, he's that first guy on the puck. He sets everything up for Johansson and Foligno.
Hayes chops it deep in the zone. Dave Bolland after it. It rolls right in front of the net. But Anisimov able to skate away. Foligno had trouble gathering it in, but got enough to get it deep and go off on a change. Anderson here. To the point. Anderson in the slot. Gives to Jack Johnson, who has the goal tonight for Columbus. Here's a point shot that comes through high. And Dave Bolland able to play it off the glass, but couldn't get it out of the zone. Anisimov down low, puts it out in front. Ekblad tied up his man, and the Panthers able to get it out. Little change there. Hayes with Bolland on that line. And now it's Jokinen along with Bukestad and Peary. So Hayes and Jokinen flip-flopping on that right wing. Wisniewski makes a move, gets a shot away, save Luongo.
Huge. That puck was deflected about 10, 12 feet out. Usually that can handcuff a goaltender. Roberto made a great save.
Picked off by Bukestad. Breakaway. Brandon Peary looking to give Florida the lead. McElhaney to save. The rebound comes to the goal line, and McElhaney is able to cover. Oh, my.
You're not going to find too many guys that'll jump up on the play like Peary. I'm so impressed with those first couple of steps. This is the save we're talking about. And then as soon as the puck is there, those couple of steps by Peary are really fast. He's looking to see if he can get that puck to the right side. And again, you've got McElhaney making an outstanding save. Not only there, but the fact that Bukestad was in behind it, almost getting the puck past McElhaney with his body. That would have been a goal that would have counted. But McElhaney made both saves.
Get a little delay.
They're looking now just to see, I think.
Yeah, make sure. They look at everything that's close up at that war room in Toronto, and they confirm, no, it did not cross the line. But if it's close to the line, they'll take the extra look and wait a moment.
Well worth it.
No question. So both goaltenders there, Denny, within seconds, coming up with big stops.
Yep.
And we remain tied at one of the goals by Johnson and Huberdeau here in the second.
This Columbus Blue Jacket team is starting to play a lot better. They've got a great record on the road, in the last 12 games or so. But they're a hockey team that was expected to get a lot more out of them, a playoff contender, and probably would have been had it not been for the tremendous amount of injuries that they have incurred throughout the season, including their goaltender, Vezina Trophy winner Bobrovsky, and he is out tonight as well. So this team has played well, but I don't know if they've got it to be able to get back in the race. They're pretty far behind to try and be a contender here in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. My feeling is the Florida Panthers, 7 points behind, maybe the only team in the East with a chance to get there. And the Bruins are winning tonight. Was it they were up 2-0 in Long Island. What's going on, Islanders?
You got to go give them a pep talk.
Way to go.
I know when you need them to win. Try to help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, don't miss your chance to see the Panthers battle for a playoff spot here at the BB&T Center. Whether you're looking to spend the night out with friends, time with the family, we have the right ticket package for you. A lot of home games down the stretch. Go to FloridaPanthers.com. We will see you here. Let's see, they were going to take the draw out to the neutral zone. They will. They're just going to go to the far side of the ice in front of the Blue Jackets bench. McKenzie, Kopecky, and Thornton on. Sean Thornton, after a 20-game absence with injury, back in the Panther lineup tonight, and he's able to chip it in. See, McKenzie could get to work. He bangs Dubinsky. Kopecky in the scrum as well. Kopecky's got it. Now McKenzie. Back again for Kopecky. Spending a little time deep in the zone here. Prout. Bumped by Thornton. Kopecky back in again. Goodbranson on the half wall knocked the puck down. And now the Blue Jackets have possession. And the clear off Calvert's skate. Luongo moves it quickly. Goodbranson does the same for Mitchell. Up to center, Huberdeau. And let's see. Yeah, it is an icing call. Okay. Hey, you can win tickets and a ride on the Panthers Fan Express for you and up to 50 friends. Just visit the promotions tab on PanthersFanRewards.com. Enter a chance to win today. Seen the inside of that bus. It is a great way to go. A lot of people, 50 friends. Would you invite 50 people to something if you...
I'd invite them to the next game.
All right.
If I could get 50 people in, absolutely. What a way to spend a great evening. And a lot of solid fan base developing here in South Florida. We'd definitely do it next game and any game.
Next home game a week from tonight against the Stanley Cup champs, the LA Kings, announced today. Next month they'll be headed to the White House to visit the president. Of course, Willie Mitchell, a member of that team.
And they're not in a very different position than the Florida Panthers are right now, too. They're looking outside the playoffs.
Boyes is in. Boyes in front, shoots. Oh, McElhaney fought it off with a right shoulder. Boyes and Barkov broke in offensively. So the Panthers first Peary on the breakaway, and then Boyes there with a couple of great looks. McElhaney has played well. It's Boyes again, tucking it deep into the zone.
Now, Boyes coming in, you don't get a better chance than that. Got the stick facing center ice.
Rolls in front, Boland after it. Bergenheim there as well. Boland works it free behind the net. The give to Ekblad. Over to Campbell. Ekblad again. Takes a shot, score! He did it again! This kid is something else. 2-1 Florida.
Well, it doesn't matter. Florida Panthers had to take the stick away from McElhaney, and that didn't help his cause as he's trying to set up. You can see how awkward he waved at the Ekblad shot. McElhaney had lost his hockey stick and lost sight of the puck, and that hit the middle of the net, folks. That is not a good goal. But then again, as I said, McElhaney had lost his stick. I think got a little flustered, started looking for the puck, and before he found it, Ekblad put it behind him, and now the Panthers have the lead.
Well, they had those chances. First Peary on the break, and then Boyes. Ekblad with his 7th of the year. He is 6th all-time in the NHL for points amongst an 18-year-old defenseman. And he's closing in on the players just above him. He's got 4 games left as an 18-year-old. There's a loose puck. Hayes couldn't get a shot away. Panthers putting the pressure on. Bergenheim on the forecheck. Atkinson now. Double team. Stolen away by Bukestad. Here's Goodbranson with a chance. Oh, just off the glove of McElhaney. Goodbranson was trying to go upstairs. And we're going to get penalties called here. Bergenheim is red hot at the official. Oh, it's picking up here at the BB&T Center. Ekblad for the lead. Welcome back, everybody. Aaron Ekblad gets the go-ahead goal for the Panthers, his 7th of the year. And then we had a couple of penalties called. There's an extra 2 minutes on the board to the Panthers, so it appears like Columbus is going to wind up with a power play out of this. There's Wisniewski for the slash, and look at Sean Bergenheim with the unsportsmanlike. Wow. And then the misconduct. He went to the dressing room, and Sean Thornton will serve the penalty.
Boy, I tell you what, that's tough for the Bergenheim. Must have had a couple of choice words for the referee, because he, at 7:40 remaining in this period, and you see the 12 minutes in penalties he received. So Bergenheim was sent right to the dressing room.
So he'll be gone for a while. This is the first power play of the game for Columbus.
And Columbus is 4th in the NHL in power play effectiveness. So this is key for the Florida Panthers.
Foligno. Here's Savard up at the line. Johansson fires cross ice. McKenzie battling, trying to work it free. Mitchell leans on Atkinson. Still work along the boards, and Derek McKenzie got it to the line. Oh, what a knockdown by Savard. Super play there to hold it in the zone, unfortunately, for the Panthers. Savard resets. Here's Johnson. Savard That one nearly came out. Foligno again. Johansson. Hammers one towards the net. That was blocked by Goodbranson, and Thomas Kopecky is out of the zone. Kopecky carries to the line, able to one-hand, one deep, and the Panthers get a much-needed change.
Big block by Goodbranson. That's what really started the defensive play for the Panthers, responsible for getting the puck down the ice.
Foligno met by Campbell, hustling over Jokinen, unable to get it out as it was blocked. Kulikov now has some time. Good kill so far. Dubinsky couldn't control. We approach 6 minutes to go here in the second. Johnson gave the Blue Jackets the lead at 1-0 early in the period. A couple more young players for Florida. Huberdeau and Ekblad have answered back for a 2-1 game. Columbus is offside.
The one area that Columbus is good at, they're fourth in the National Hockey League in power play goals. Foligno has 9 and Johansson has 7. They're not very good 5-on-5. They've been outscored 100-69 at 5-on-5, but on the power play, they are a dangerous team, and Columbus has been good on the road of late. They're 8-3 in their last 11 road games coming into this one, so tough test. Panthers need to stay out of the box.
37 goals in total by Columbus's power play. That's fourth best in the NHL. Panthers just saw the best in the NHL in Detroit. Leads the NHL in power play goals for. And actually, Detroit is second in the opportunities they get on power play. Columbus is only 13th, so they don't get as many chances.
Thornton out of the box, forces a turnover, comes in front. Thornton again. He was serving the extra 2 to Bergenheim. Barkov in front. Oh, Huberdeau was all alone, but it was knocked away. Pretty good look there by Alexander Barkov. Huberdeau on the forecheck. Now it's Teuton able to finally just throw it all the way down the ice. Strong kill by the Panthers as they remain up a goal. The stretch pass. And Boys hits Bjugstad. McElhaney came way out to deny the shot. Bjugstad again walks the goal line. Tucks it out in front. To the point it comes. Ekblad keeps it in. Bjugstad again. Bounces off the Wenberg hit. Nick Bjugstad working hard down low. Jammed up with Savard. And finally, Calvert clears.
Boy, what a great example of how you play the puck in the corner like Bjugstad. Keeping an eye on the checker and using his strength to avoid him and keep control of the puck. Nice play. Sort of like Peter Forsberg in the old day in the 90s there with Colorado was just dynamite at doing that very play that Bjugstad did in the corner.
There's a mention in the high rent district from you about the young Nick Bjugstad. Foligno right off the bench down the wing. He's got an open man. Connaughton in the slot shoots. Luongo got a piece with the glove. Foligno again.
That late man, you've got to be able to see it. Jimmy Hayes had to keep an eye on Connaughton. He had a wide open shot.
Little mix and match with the line here. Atkinson bothered by Ekblad. It's Hayes, Kopecky, and Boland on the ice right now for Florida. Puck stays in the zone. Foligno taken now by Dave Boland. Trying to pop it past Connaughton. Gets the help from Hayes, and he's out. Ekblad has the go-ahead goal. His 7th of the season. 8 points in the last 11 for the 18-year-old defenseman.
Well, it's good time for the defensemen like Ekblad and Campbell to bring the puck back and slow things down. Let your forwards get a line change.
Oh, McKenzie hit hard by Trop. Open man in front. It's Thornton. Now Huberdeau takes over the shots blocked. Huberdeau again. Thornton through the legs. Got a piece of it. Stopped by McElhaney.
That line has been consistent throughout. You kind of hope they get rewarded. They have worked so hard, and most of the work has been in the offensive zone.
Goodbranson quickly on the puck. And on the second effort, able to lift to center. Here's Thornton again. Tipped away by Johnson. Dubinsky shoots in. Teuton. Luongo with no rebound. Nick Bjugstad had an opportunity here. It remains 2-1 Florida.
Welcome back to the BB&T Center. Cats up 2-1, 2.5 minutes left to play here in the second period. And the Panthers have that lead thanks to Aaron Ekblad, who had a big week last week. He was up in Columbus for the NHL All-Star game, and he decided to take photographs of what he did during his All-Star break, including a selfie with a couple of the other NHL All-Stars from last week. Our own Bill Lindsay also decided to document what he did during the All-Star break, as you see him snorkeling here with a ocean water-colored swimsuit there down in the Keys. So always good to see Billy keeping up with the style right there.
Thanks. I'm an expert at All-Star breaks because I never played in them. So I'm always out there knowing what to do, snorkel a little bit. My wife, she's in a lot of trouble. She did not go to me before she posted that picture on Instagram. Carrie, I know you're not watching, but when I get home, we're going to have a word or two.
Well, this has been going on for years, Denny. You know, she gave him an avocado? He did the face mask with avocado on his face. She puts that on Twitter. I mean, she's clearly just throwing it out there, intending for it to be seen by everybody.
It appears, I haven't been around very long, but it appears as though Billy Lindsay's an easy target.
There's it doesn't take long to figure that out. And when you get
a Speedo,
you should be wearing a Speedo down there in the Keys. They kick you out of the Keys if you got the Speedo. And when you get
if I ever get to a Speedo, then we got all kinds of issues.
If we're looking at you, we have issues. You're right. Calvert working in the offensive zone, puts it out in front of the Panther net. Cleared away, but not out. Second game back from the All-Star break for the Panthers. Alex Petrovic, season debut for Florida, called up. If you missed it today, Dylan Olsen on waivers. He doesn't get claimed by noon tomorrow. He'll report to the Panthers AHL team. Petrovic paired up with Kulikov tonight. How do you like the different pairings?
You know what? They've been very quiet, which is like a compliment. You know, no really great offensive plays, solid defensively, making the easy pass, keeping it a one-on-one. I think both of them have played well so far.
Anisimov chipped out in front. Wenberg pushes it in. It deflected off his body.
That looked like the shaft of his stick. Well, of course, we have the bad angle, so we're looking from behind, but it appeared as though he was able to bang the puck in with a high stick, the shaft of his stick. Take a look here. We'll get a much better opportunity. Right side. Now, that has to be determined whether or not contact with the puck was below the crossbar. I don't think it was. I do not think contact with the puck was below the bar. There you see the bunting with the shaft. That, to me, looks like it's awfully close, but I would be surprised if it is deemed below the crossbar.
They ruled it a goal on the ice initially. Yeah. Now, when those referees get together, they could change what the goal was ruled on the ice, but as we saw, it was a goal on the ice, and
that's tough.
That is
the
close.
The fact that it was ruled a goal, to me, was a mistake. I mean, the immediate thought was that it is so close. Why would the referee rule it a goal when I'm sure there was some doubt, as there was in my mind, right away. So let's take a look. The puck is way up there. The referee is to the right of your screen. So he's got a very good view of the contact. So now we'll see what the ruling is as the NHL will look at it. And they're taking their time reviewing it, as you can tell.
And just down here from ice level, it looked like the stick was below the crossbar. And I think he makes contact with the middle of the stick. I think this goal is going to stand. I think it goes off the shaft of his stick. And if it's ruled a goal on the ice, I don't think there's enough video evidence that you can overturn it. It goes right off the shaft. And from where I'm looking, it looked like it was below the crossbar. I think this goal is going to stand.
Well, Billy's got that look right close, too, right from the goal line. So we'll see. We'll see how it's ruled. But certainly it did hit the shaft of the stick of Wenberg. Now the determination was contact above the crossbar.
Boy, a shame for the Panthers if it counts. They really controlled this second period after Columbus got a goal in 1:08 of the period. Better scoring chances by far. And here is the ruling. Ghislain Hebert.
the official. Upon further review, the puck hits the shaft below the crossbar. We had a good goal on you.
Yep, there you go. That is the requirement. It has to be below the crossbar. Crossbar is 4 feet high. Right there. Well, from our angle, obviously, very close. Bill Lindsay had a better angle, and he thought it did make contact below the shaft, and he was right.
And it's good, yeah, down low, so it counts. Tied at 2. A late goal to give up, that's a hard one.
Yeah, that is tough. And you look at all the, Huberdeau got that goal, and oh boy, now we're going to get a penalty on the Panthers for a delay of game.
Florida's penalty number 44. Delay of game, shoot the puck out of play.
It's almost laughable. I think you get a little smirk on the face of Gerard Gallant. Things happen so bad. I mean, that was so fortunate. The goal by Wennberg, and then the very next shift, you get an unfortunate puck over the glass.
Well, now the battle is on. Panthers trying to get out of the period, but it's tied. Wisniewski up at the blue line. Feeds it off to the wing. Hartnell is out in front. Jokinen after the puck, looking for a clear. Gets it. Wennberg from Anisimov and Anderson. Anisimov's the one that popped it out in front. And we're tied. Ryan Campbell, first man back. The feed over to Kulikov. Backhands up the wall. Wisniewski held it in. Kulikov again, and this time able to get it out. Second power play of the game for Columbus. Panthers have had 2 as well. All 4 goals here in the second period scored, all even strength. Foligno couldn't get it in front to an open man. McKenzie on the clear. And we will head to the third period. Columbus still. Time left on the power play to begin the period. We are tied at 2.
A couple of young players having very solid periods. We see Ekblad right there, and Jonathan Huberdeau also a very, very strong period in my opinion, and it showed on his goal. Hard work paid off.
Even after 40 minutes, let's go down to Drew.
Goldie, thank you very much. Coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report, we're going to take a look at the Panthers' road ahead as they get set to start a few-game road trip up in the New York, New Jersey area. Plus, we'll take a look at our spotlight player of the game, Jonathan Huberdeau, as he continues his very strong run as of late. I'll have all of the stats and highlights from the first 40 minutes of play. For now, Goldie, back to you.
All right, Drew, thanks. Exciting second period. Columbus scored 1. Panthers got a pair. Jackets get 1 back, and we're even headed into the third. A big 20 minutes coming up for the Florida Panthers. Columbus has 52 seconds left in a power play. We're even after 40 minutes. What have you seen so far, Denny?
You know what? I take a look at all the categories that are supposed to be important, like shots on goal, like hits, like turnovers, and like in the face-off circle. The Florida Panthers are so far ahead in most every department, yet they're still tied on the scoreboard. And the Florida Panthers have killed off 2 power plays already, and that is going to be a big situation right now where they have 52 seconds remaining on the Goodbranson penalty to start off the third period. They must be strong on the PK.
And Bergenheim is in the box. Remember, he got 14 minutes worth of penalties, so eventually he'll be back.
How many did he have all season?
20 all year. 14 in one sequence there. And Luongo will have to face 52 seconds of 5-on-4 advantage time for the Blue Jackets. All the goals came in the second. Johnson early on gave Columbus the lead. Wennberg tied it late in the period. In between, Huberdeau is 9th, Ekblad is 7th. Panthers did have the lead for about 7 minutes. Free puck at the Panther line. Bounces off McKenzie. Willie Mitchell plays it away from Atkinson. Kulikov hit by Foligno. And Foligno goes to the point man. The veteran Wisniewski moves across ice. Johnson creeps in. Back for Wisniewski. Johansson. Wisniewski. Kopetsky got in that shooting lane. Wisniewski couldn't get it off. Now in front, Luongo, a big save on Atkinson. Panthers need one more clear, but Wisniewski's able to hold it in. Atkinson with a shot high over the net, out of the boxes. Goodbranson, he'll play the puck. Panther penalty kill, 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, this one was particularly important so that you can start the third period on even footing.
Barkov, Huberdeau, and Boys for quite a while now. Each of those three have been averaging about a point a game. They're all on the score sheet tonight. Here's a chance the other way. Luongo with a great glove save. It's still loose, though. Oh, I thought he had it in the glove. I guess it dropped down for a moment. And then we got the whistle. There it is. Look at that, right under the pad.
Well, I think that Ekblad's the first one to saw that the puck did not stay in the equipment. You'll see here, the shot goes, and there it is up in the air. Roberto thinks he has it, and yeah, it's Goodbranson. It's Ekblad who gets in there first and tries to get it back under the pad of Roberto Luongo as Dubinsky was right on top of it.
Off the draw. Drop check by Ekblad, but gets rid of it to Hartnell. He fanned on the pass attempt. But Hartnell again. Shot deflected behind the net, hit the referee. Trop picks it off the end wall. Barkov spins him around and plays it around to Ekblad. Pressure by the Blue Jackets after the power play ended. These are hard-working shifts along the walls. Tootin throws it down low for Trop. Hartnell again. Bounces off a check again. Huberdeau after it. He gets bumped. Dubinsky now. Panthers desperate for a clear or a whistle. Campbell knocks it free, and Huberdeau chips out.
You know, some of the toughest work is when you don't have the puck. First of all, it's no fun, and then most of the time, you want to just make it a little easier than you should. A couple of guys on the Panthers waving at the opponent who had the puck. You really cannot do that. You've got to be able to take the body away and separate him from the puck.
Brandon Peary in the slot looking for a chance. Knocked down by Johnson. Jokinen and Hayes switch spots during the second period. It stays that way for Gerard Gallant, so it's Bjugstad flanked by Jokinen and Peary. Savard ahead for Anderson. He'll flip it in. Wenberg, who tied the game late in the second, feeds the point. Savard down the wing. The shot saved Luongo. Loose glove out there on the ice. Belongs to Willie Mitchell. He gets it back. But again, the Blue Jackets able to hold it in the zone. They go for a change. Gives Goodbranson and Mitchell some time.
Seem to be a little more on the offensive to the Columbus Blue Jackets at the moment.
Alex Petrovic back for the Panthers, making his season debut. Called up. Kopetsky's in. Down low. Hayes bumps Canuck. Kopetsky's got it. Up high for Petrovic. Lets Arister go wide. Kulikov down the wing with a shot stick save. So it's Kopetsky with Boland and Hayes. Kopetsky been active in this game, a little more than 10 minutes of ice time. Huberdeau wins the race to the puck, a great effort there, then hit by Connaughton. Panthers hold it in. Point shot blocked, comes to center. Johansson. Oh, nice poke away by Campbell at the last moment.
I tell you, that Johansson's pretty light on his feet for a big man.
Here's Atkinson flipping one towards the net. Blocked down by Luongo. Ekblad shoved down by Johansson. Pops back up. And Sean Thornton clears for Huberdeau. Huberdeau with a great move. Moving in. Huberdeau, the pass in front, deflected away. He was looking for Sean Thornton. Oh, what a nifty play there by Jonathan Huberdeau. They just couldn't quite get the shot on net.
And defenseman Proud is looking for a piece of his equipment. Boy, you don't get beat like that one-on-one very often. What a nice individual play by Huberdeau, already with a goal.
Barkov, great effort fighting off a couple of defenders, and Barkov is in over the line. Barkov shoots, St. McElhaney. Boy, oh boy, Alexander Barkov shows you a flash there of what he can do. Bergenheim still with a few minutes left, so we continue with the mixing and matching up front for Gerard Gallant down a forward. Barkov again up the middle. Feeds Peary. Trailer, Mitchell shoots, save, rebound in front. Oh, what a stop by McElhaney. He robbed Boys right on the doorstep. Boys again battling down low. Boys trying to fight through the check of Johnson. But Dubinsky takes the puck, gives it away to Bukestad. Bukestad holds and shoots. It's blocked by Savard. Panthers have now turned the tables over the last couple of minutes on Columbus. Dumped out to center. Petrovic gives to Kulikov. Lead pass. Kopecky got a piece of it but couldn't control. Kulikov is back. He went down after Anderson gave him a shot. Anderson takes the puck. Kulikov stays with it. Kopecky now on the clear. Jokinen after it. The smooth skating Wisniewski. Slides it ahead for Anisimov off his stick. Calvert tied up by Ekblad. Bolin looking to dig it out of there. Bolin does. Clock continues to roll. Nearly 7 minutes gone by in the third.
Well, they've both been tight games against these two teams. Both losses to the Panthers. One in a shootout.
That was the 4-3 win for Columbus here. The Blue Jackets won 2-1, and that puck nearly came out of the zone, but Prout held it in, I guess, and it went wide. Blue Jackets beat the Panthers 2-1 in Columbus, is what I was going to say. So, yeah, they've been one-goal games. Panthers win the battle and find Brian Campbell. Jimmy Hayes gets by Atkinson and shoots in. Poked away by McKenzie. And this time the puck does come out of the zone. Continuous action here in the third. A turnover. Kopecky forced it. Chance for Willie Mitchell. Slap shot blocked, though. Tootin got it to center. Mitchell plays it around the boards. It comes out of the zone. Barkov with Boys. Boys shifts in and shoots. Glove save McElhaney. We finally get a whistle more than 8 minutes into the third period. Oh, so close for Brad Boys, trying to give Florida the lead. Game here in the third. One of the Panther goals, Billy, scored by the 18-year-old defenseman Aaron Ekblad, continues to shine.
Boy, does he ever. He only needs 4 more points to move into third place ever among 18-year-old defensemen in the history of the league scoring. But look at 41. There, that point coverage, not very good, and that simple wrist shot, just getting that puck through. Not much of a shooting lane, but how good is Aaron Ekblad at getting pucks through? Hits the middle of the net, but Aaron Ekblad, nothing fancy, Denny. That wrist shot is so much better than a slap shot, and I think Ekblad does that almost better than anyone in the league, just that simple wrist shot.
You know, the flex on a hockey stick is somewhere between 80 and about 120, and his is about 85, so he does not want to take slap shots. Mostly, he just wants to take the kind of wrist shot that got him the goal. Partly why he's able to keep the head up and get the puck through all the time. Because he practices it every day. It just doesn't happen. Now you're seeing
time on the ice.
Now you're seeing Goodbranson do the same thing. Willie Mitchell doing the same thing. A little bit of the left-right. Find the lane that will allow you to get the puck through. And most of the Florida Panther defensemen now are getting those shots through.
And for the Panthers now, yeah, Aaron Ekblad, I just touched on it. He needs 4 more points.
Yep.
To be third ever among 18-year-old defensemen in the league in scoring. He's got a chance to pass Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr is second all-time with 61 points. Phil Housley is number 1. He's way up there. He's not going to get to Housley, but he's got a good chance to finish second ever among 18-year-old NHL defensemen. That would be quite an accomplishment.
Great start to her career.
Off the draw, Kulikov deflected by Jokinen wide. Brandon Peary in behind the net. But take it away. And the Jackets get to center. Letestu shot in. Here's Petrovic on the clear for Bukestad. Trying to walk around one man, couldn't do it. Anderson. Bukestad tries again. This time loses Anderson. But shoved off the puck by Wisniewski. Jokinen on the forecheck, ties up Wisniewski. Peary on a poke check there. Bukestad hits Wisniewski. Wenberg trying to clear. And now the Panthers will go for a change, so the Blue Jackets carry out. It's Connaughton. As we approach the halfway point of the third period. All the goals came in the second. Huberdeau and Ekblad, the Florida goals. Bergenheim, after the 14 minutes of penalties, is back. Taken away by Dave Bolin. Gives to Campbell. Down the wing goes Campbell. Looking out in front. Puts it in front. Taken by Bowl for the Blue Jackets, though.
Boy, that was a right play. Had two red jerseys. Bolin and Bergenheim going to the front of the net in anticipation.
So they continue with Bergenheim, Bolin and Hayes. Hayes and Jokinen switch spots on those lines on the right wings. Ekblad takes a look. Hits McKenzie. Speeds through center. Thomas Kopetzky's in a strong game here tonight. Thornton, Kopetzky, and McKenzie getting to work. Now Proud finds it and just lifts it all the way down. Mitchell has a couple of steps on Foligno. Top line on for the Blue Jackets. Foligno up ahead for Atkinson. Mitchell played it nicely. Good Branson. They give to Barkov, who is right there in front of him for support. But turned back the other way by Foligno again. Brad Boys starts the center. The pass, though, hit Hartnell. And Mitchell's got to come back now. Quick moving third period. We have not had many whistles. No penalties. Huberdeau gets the red line. Bukestad after the puck. Bukestad in the corner. Played it around. Wisniewski cut it off. Jokinen jumps in there. So does Peary. Hartnell gets it all the way down the ice. Anderson coming hard at Campbell, but he moves it quickly to Aaron Ekblad. And this puck deflects into the bench. We get a stoppage. 8:04 to go now. We remain tied. We are tied at 2. 8:04 to go now. Down the stretch we come, Danny, in a big hockey game for the Panthers.
Well, this would not be a bad choice if you're looking for the guy who's got the hot stick and maybe the game winner. Alexander Barkov right now has been hot the last several games. He's played solidly, as we showed earlier. Got 4 shots on goal to lead the Panthers. 70% in the face-off circle. Doing a lot of things right.
Loose puck now in front. Campbell's got it. Under pressure from Anderson. I'll tell you what, this Anderson's been impressive tonight. 20-year-old for Columbus. Peary going hard at Tootin, so he unloads quickly. Brandon Peary under pressure at center. Calvert tracks the puck down for Columbus. Bumped by Ekblad. Calvert stays with it. Now taken by Bukestad, who is back defensively. He'll lift it out. Panthers go for a line change. Savard, he's got 7 goals from the blue line for Columbus. Campbell hits Hayes in stride. Big Jimmy Hayes carries through center. Hayes moves in. Hayes sweeping around the net. Gives to Bolin. They set up Petrovic for Arister. That goes wide. Kulikov waits at his point. He'll let fly. Score! It deflected in. Bergenheim got injured. I'm not sure if the puck hit him in the face and then went in or not, or he caught a high stick. He's in pain. The Panthers have the lead.
Well, it sounded like it went off a hockey stick or a helmet. So that maybe what happened is that Bergenheim may have gotten a high stick in the face as the puck was going by. Not sure whether or not he'll even get credit. It could be that the puck went directly in Kulikov goal, and then Bergenheim took a high stick. Let's take a look. Shot. Oh, there's the stick. Jack Johnson hits Bergenheim with a stick right in the face.
And they're going to call it, Denny.
And they have to make that call. Look at that high stick. Now, Johnson seems to be protecting himself. I don't know what it hit. It hit maybe Jack Johnson. But in any event, it appears as though they're going to make a penalty on Jack Johnson. Bergenheim getting tended to there. Oh, boy.
So the Panthers get a go-ahead goal here with 6:52 to go off the Kulikov point shot as the officials try to sort all this out. Here it is again, Denny.
Well, I think you're going to see the puck will go off of Jack Johnson. Wait a minute now. I think they're looking at it to see if the puck did not hit Bergenheim's stick.
Well, it may have.
And now the determination is again, was it above the crossbar or below the crossbar?
Yes, it definitely went off Bergenheim. Bergenheim touched that stick right here, and it is going to be reviewed whether it was a high stick or not. It definitely was deflected by Sean Bergenheim. So now, again, we got another question. Was the puck above the crossbar when he deflected it? Again, from ice level where I'm looking at, I have the same opinion that I had on the other goal, that it was below the crossbar. And I think whatever ruling it was on the ice, there's not enough video evidence, again, to overturn this. Bergenheim touched it. I think this goal will stand.
It's a goal on the ice, yes, and it looks like it will stand. And Johnson here with the high stick is going to get, I believe, 4 minutes of penalty. So what a huge sequence this all is right now.
Hey, Billy, is it possible that after Bergenheim touched the shot that it might have hit Jack Johnson's glove?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
It went down real fast.
It did. I don't think it's going to matter, though. I think right where I'm looking again on both these goals, I was sitting right in the corner from both of them, and it looked to be below the crossbar from my perspective, and it could have definitely touched Johnson on the way to the net. But that, to me, is below the crossbar, and again, definitely not enough video evidence to overturn it, and the high sticking penalty. So the Panthers should have a lead, and they should have a power play. I think both things will go their way.
Well, either way, Johnson's definitely getting the penalty. They've looked at the goal. Boy, you don't see that kind of stuff very often. What an odd play, and let's let Ghislain Hébert sort it out.
On the play, the puck hits the stick at or below the level of the crossbar. We get a good goal on the ice. Also, there's a double minor penalty on number 7, Johnson. Since the goal scored, that penalty is now reduced to 2-minute minor.
So there you go. Had it been no goal, it would have been a 4-minute power play for the Panthers. So one of the penalties basically is negated by the goal. So the Panthers have the power play for 2 minutes. Bergenheim, you see a little scratch there. He's okay, and he's got the go-ahead goal.
Well, most of the damage was done inside the lip. You can see when Dave Zanobi was looking at him, it appeared as though the teeth were a little bloody. But he's fine, thank goodness. And the Panthers are fine with the lead.
So the Cats back on top, and now on the man advantage. Third opportunity. It looked good on the first two, even though they didn't put one behind McElhaney. Free puck down low. Blue Jackets win this battle.
I'll tell you, the Florida Panthers have not and probably will not get those easy, pretty tic-tac goals. They've got to get the type of goals that we saw Huberdeau work for, and the pain suffered by Bergenheim. That just seems to be the way the Florida Panthers get their goals. Face up to it and get to the front of the net.
Alex Petrovic got the second assist, so on his call-up, he helped out on that Bergenheim deflection. He took the first shot from the point. Petrovic's second NHL point, his first, obviously, this year. Here's a look at the 22-year-old Alex Petrovic. Says, yeah, okay, I'll take the one.
Well, he was off for a goal against, but now that evens it up for him in terms of the plus-minus statistic. Always important for the defenseman, I should say, overall.
Now, Denny, a great opportunity. Up a goal, this power play.
Yeah. This is where we call the killer instinct, and we've mentioned it before. And the power play opportunity, it just spell it out for the Panthers.
Boys works down low. Kulikov feeds the point for Jokinen. Campbell. They give to Brandon Peary, who has goals in back-to-back games, but poked right off his stick. Blue Jackets aggressive there on the PK, doing the job so far. 45 seconds left in the Jack Johnson high stick. Turnover here, though, by the Panthers. And the Blue Jackets will kill some valuable time.
And more time as the Florida Panthers look to get a line change.
And the speedy Atkinson after the puck, and Branson poked it away. Huberdeau. Campbell up the middle. And this puck goes out of play.
It's not easy to do. Now the Florida Panthers there, again, the turnover caused a lot of problems in terms of losing a lot of time on the clock and then trying to get line changes. When Campbell went up the ice with the puck, you know, 3 of the 5 guys had already got off the ice, so it wasn't going to get the puck back. So the scenario's not so bad. They get a face-off at center ice.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets able to pull it back. Kill more time in the Panther power play as we approach 5 minutes to go. Bergenheim's 8th of the year as Florida on top. Hayes for Huberdeau. Hit by Foligno hard. And Columbus works it free and the power play is done.
This is a team that finishes their checks, so you can't be standing around thinking if the puck's near you, you're not going to get hit.
Hayes gives ahead. Huberdeau. Late in the shift after the power play time. Anderson, nice little play by Sean Thornton, forces the turnover. Kopetsky hammers one wide. Nice play there. Sean Thornton, his first game back in a couple of months. After missing time with injury, he's been effective tonight. Willie Mitchell, bumped by Anderson. Puck did come out of the zone. Panthers cleared, play rolls on. Hartnell dropped it off. The clear for Florida. Here comes Kopetsky. Peary is with him. Kopetsky shoots. Saved by McElhaney. Panthers are second in the NHL in third period goals allowed. They've only allowed 32 this year. They want to keep it that way for about 3.5 more minutes. Turnover at the line. Dave Bolin is in. On the forehand. Shoots. McElhaney glove save. Rebounds loose. Bolin chips out in front. Peary's shot goes wide. He didn't quite get all of it.
I know the puck was rolling on him. Peary
again. Shots blocked. Bergenheim behind the net. Stolen away by Dubinsky. Calvert off the bench, hustles after a loose puck. Point shot, Luongo finds it through the traffic. Eddie holds on. 3:05 left. And the Panthers up a goal. Luongo, 25 saves on the night. He's trying to close this one out. He has made some big ones this evening.
And I tell you, it has not been easy. They've been a lot of screen shots. This one has to be one of the best. Foligno coming across all alone, and you can see that the right pad gets in the way of what should have been a sure goal. Foligno with 18 goals on the season would probably say he got robbed on that one, and that is the ADT defensive play of the game.
Panthers trying to close out the homestand with a win here. Willie Mitchell conversing with Huberdeau and Branson. Huberdeau with a goal tonight, and Branson and Mitchell together as a pair.
We heard Willie Mitchell earlier talk about communication. All 5 Florida Panthers talking like in a huddle before the drop of the puck.
Off the faceoff, Huberdeau trying to help out. He does, and Barkov rolls it down the ice. Good work off the draw there. Boys hounding Connaughton. And Boys forces the turnover momentarily. Wisniewski has to reset. Knocked down, turnover forced by Barkov. He and Boys won't let him out of the zone. Boys double team. Now it's Calvert, and he does get out. Goodbranson is with him. Well played by Goodbranson. Funnels it around the boards where Huberdeau is stationed. And he'll clear.
You don't necessarily want to go on the defensive. As they say, you don't want to go into a shell at this point. If you're the Panthers, you want to take advantage of any offensive opportunities, particularly forcing the play in the offensive zone and containing it there.
Loose puck at the Panther line. Gathered in by Foligno. Here's Johansson. Mitchell's all over him. Roll back down low. Atkinson hunts it down. Johnson at the point. Goodbranson pops it up the boards and gets it all the way down the ice. Another good clear, no icing. As the Panthers get the Bolin line on the ice now. Stretch pass. Hartnell's got it with a shot. Ooh, that hit the post.
I don't think Roberto was expecting that shot from Hartnell.
Point shot here, Luongo the save. Just as McElhaney starts heading off, and then Hartnell with another punch at Ekblad. That's about the third time tonight he's gone after Ekblad. Ekblad jammed up with Dubinsky. 1:25 left, and the Blue Jackets going to pull the goaltender. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, full Super Bowl coverage, including Marshawn Lynch, who finally speaks his mind. Coach K releases a player after a tough loss to Notre Dame. Tiger Woods' first round of 2015, could he miss the cut? Coming up tonight on Fox Sports Live. And the Blue Jackets, Denny, have called timeout and have put the goaltender on the bench.
Well, McElhaney, who certainly has had a very solid game for the Blue Jackets. Bobrovsky injured, out of the lineup for some time. It may be in Bobrovsky's McElhaney's hands for a while. And there you see the Jackets trying to map out a play that can give them a shot on goal.
The Panthers with their 31 shots tonight. They came into the game 5th in the NHL in shots per game at 31.5. They're right there. You see Huberdeau, Ekblad, and Bergenheim, the Panther goal scorers. Bergenheim's was the go-ahead goal with 6:52 to go here in the third.
And you said they've been good in the faceoff circle all night. Well, this is one you want to win right here. This is the important one.
You give all the other ones back, right, Billy?
Yes, this is the one you want the most.
Dave Bolin, guys, will take it. It's won 4 out of 7 tonight. Extra skater on for Columbus. Johansson picks it off the circle, and a shot right on Luongo. Makes the save, and how could Branson and Johansson get into it?
You know what, when you talk about players who are sort of headed towards greatness, Johansson certainly appears to be one of them. One of the reasons why is that he finds that open ice. The puck seems to find him. How he got that shot on goal, cruising around as everybody else is looking for it. He finds it and gets the shot.
Atkinson gets it up to the point. Wisniewski with the extra skater on for the Blue Jackets. Here's a shot, Luongo save, rebound over the net from Foligno. Shoots, Luongo glove save. Oh, Roberto is coming up huge late in the game.
I tell you what, we just talked about Johansson, how he finds the open ice. This is some kind of a play, and we're going to try and show it to you as he comes up really high. Notice the blue line? He came all the way back with his defenseman to get the shot on goal and create the melee. Roberto Luongo fortunately put a stop to the play.
Blue Jackets control again. Wisniewski shoots it, deflects wide. Less than a minute to go. Atkinson for Connaughton. Can he hold it in? Boys pokes it out of the zone. Columbus has to reset with the net empty. Ryan Johansson moves it up on the wing. Nice poke check by Boys. He lifts it down. It won't go far enough towards the empty net. No icing either. Half a minute now. Willie Mitchell knocked it free. Wisniewski has an open man. Johansson is in. Goodbranson played it beautifully. Whose side of the net? They're poking at it, and Luongo's got it. Eric Goodbranson with a huge defensive play against Johansson.
Listen, I like to say by Roberto Luongo, but this is the defensive play of the game. This is a big man in Johansson who comes in, and Goodbranson, who had a little step two with Johansson a couple of shifts ago. They exchanged glances and a few words when Johansson tried to cut in on goal. The big Goodbranson was bigger.
Draw again in the Panther zone with the extra skater on for Columbus, and now Gerard Gallant will use his timeout.
How about a job by Sean Thornton on the ice? Hasn't played in a long time. Coach Gerard Gallant has Sean Thornton out there to try and protect the lead late. I love it. Going to your veterans, this is when you need them the most.
Yeah, great point, Billy. He's played 11 minutes now. Sean Thornton has attempted 5 shots in the game. He's got 4 hits as well. All this, Denny, after missing nearly 2 months.
I know, it's been tough, and he's been fighting, really chomping at the bit to get back into the lineup. Not an easy thing, being out this long. I mean, you really want to try and feel part of it. It's not like the players ignore you, but on the other hand, you're never there at the drop of the puck, and that's what hurts a player when he has to deal with injuries.
Now it's Bolin, McKenzie, and Jokinen. Again with Mitchell and Goodbranson. Can the veteran Bolin win this one?
Now Bolin facing Dubinsky. Change of face-off men for Columbus.
Extra skater on for the Blue Jackets. 20.8 to go. Bergenheim the go-ahead goal with 6:52 left. Johansson controls off the draw. Wisniewski throws it down low. Out in front. Deflected wide by Hartnell. McKenzie hustles after it. We're down to 10. Battle along the boards in the Panther zone. It's still stuck in the skates with 5. Goodbranson just trying to pin it to the wall. It comes to the point. Wisniewski shoots wide. That's it. Adios losing streak. The Panthers hold on 3-2.
Bergenheim with a game-winning goal. It had to be reviewed, but as I said, he hit the puck at or below the crossbar, which is interesting because when Weinberg scored the tying goal, the call was that he had made contact with the puck below the crossbar. So irrespective of that, it didn't come easy. Had to take a stick to the face, but Bergenheim would do that to get the game-winning goal and to put an end to this losing streak.
A salute to the fans. The Panthers gut it out. They do the job again in the third period. As we said, came in tied for second in the league, fewest third period goals allowed. And Drew, they didn't allow one tonight, and that helped them win this one 3-2.
Absolutely, Goldie, and great to see some Rats on the ice once again here at the BB&T Center. Coming up on Panthers Live postgame, we'll go down in the locker room and hear from some of the players. We'll also hear from head coach Gerard Gallant and have all of the stats, highlights, and analysis of the Panthers' victory here tonight over Columbus. Goldie, back to you.
Thanks, Drew. The Cats get the victory. A much-needed one, 3-2. Over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Gerard Gallant's team headed out on the road. Jonathan Huberdeau got a goal. We went back and forth in this game. Roberto Luongo, certainly one of the stars. He was outstanding. Ekblad and Bergenheim also scored for the Cats, who beat the Blue Jackets tonight by the final score of 3-2. All the highlights, analysis, we'll hear from the locker room as well. Panthers Live postgame is next.